Joining me now is Allen Orr. He's the former president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association. Allen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Why is the United States considered a destination country for trafficking in persons for labor and sexual exploitation?
I think it's also part of the American dream, a focus of a better life and maybe a better opportunity and some sort of safeguards that are sort of the issue. It's the traction that comes here that it's better than what you are suffering in your own home country in many cases. So that's it's the thing that pulls a lot of people here, the opportunity.
Many of the victims come from Latin America. Some migrants are even used as slaves, manual labor. Has this grown or declined in recent years? What have you been seeing?
So part of the issue is you really never know, right? You only know the reported cases. There are probably a lot more unreported cases than reported cases. There are a lot of occurrences that actually happen on visas, on our short-term seasonal visas, that we actually discovered one case in Georgia just recently where workers were not being paid appropriately and being used for labor. It happens in a lot of different occurrences. Also, there's also people who are being trafficked here for other reasons. And so you consistently hear those stories over and over again about people who are in the back of trucks who have died, who are trying to maybe smugglers, maybe trafficking. It's really hard to tell. A lot of those stories are really difficult to dissect. And then you have the occurrence where there were family separation at the southern border, and a lot of young individuals were allowed into the country, and who knows what's happening to them.
There's no follow-up. How are U.S. policies then on human trafficking disconnected from conflict prevention and security initiatives?
I think so. Just recently today, the House looked at a bill sort of addressing human trafficking because it can be, inside the United States as well as outside the United States, to sort of address an overall trafficking rescue for individuals who are in trafficking situations. They can go somewhere and actually get the help to survive, because that's part of the issue. Once you're trafficked into the country and maybe you're able to escape, well, what happens next, right? If the person's supplying you food or you don't really have any language, what are the skills to help you get into the American fabric, to get the protection that's being offered here that is afforded under human rights, under international policies and treaties? So that's part of what the United States is trying to address, as well as a large influx of immigrants coming here. But part of the problem is there are not a lot of individuals who are trafficking in that actually show up at a CBP port of entry under that guise. So they are already happening undercurrent. So first DHS has to discover them to then sort of solve that problem.
Yeah, it's super complicated. So what are the solutions, Allen, and why is it so hard to break the cycle and get to the root causes of human trafficking? It's pretty complicated.
Well, I think part of the change would be a change in U.S. policy with regards to immigration. I think if there were easier immigration laws that offered opportunity to more individuals at different levels, that they wouldn't be trafficked in the first place, because they'd be able to apply for a visa at a port of entry or in their home country to come to the United States in a reasonable period of time. So revamping our immigration system is first and foremost a good place to be. Being better corporate citizens to the United States is also a better place to be, which we've seen Vice President Harris go down to Latin America and make agreements with a lot of those countries with regards to private money going there to help change some of the undercurrents that happen in the society, some of the victims of women and the like, as well as you've recently seen a woman president actually elected in Honduras to be the president of the country. So therefore, you're going to see a lot of changes as women are empowered in these political arenas to make some decisions for themselves in those countries. That's part of the solution, this international partnership, as well as the United States saying we need to change our laws. We haven't really updated immigration since the 80s with regards to how people can come here, and maybe changing that will also help us, afford us a better step in sort of addressing this issue.
All great points. Allen Orr, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Firefighters